Who will dethrone every current WWE champion? Starting off with the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I think Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan are the perfect candidates for this role to dethrone Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. As looking at the WWE Women's Tag Team division, it's pretty barren at the minute. So really, they should be trying to focus on getting as many tag teams from NXT into the division as they can. The NXT Tag Team Champions of Hank and Tank. I think Darkseid should be the ones to dethrone Hank and Tank, as this will help prove that they are the dominant force that they are trying to present themselves as on NXT TV. There is a link between the two teams as well, as next week on NXT, Hank and Tank and Joe Hendry will go head-to-head against Darkseid in a six-man tag match. Next are the WWE World Tag Team Champions of the New Day. I've got the War Raiders to dethrone the New Day, as they are the next to have a title match after this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. There's no other correlation between any other tag team to the New Day other than this. Maybe the Judgment Day could be contenders, but right now it's pointing more to the second reign of the War Raiders instead of the third reign of Judgment Day. So personally, I think that's the route WWE are going to go, having the War Raiders chase the titles and then win them back at some point, but I guess we'll have to see where they're going to go with it. Next are the WWE Tag Team Champions of the Street Profits. I have got Fraxium to dethrone the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team titles. This is purely because I really like the tag team. They had a great run with the NXT titles, and also after their stellar performance in their debut match, they deserve to be fighting for gold, really, straight away. I just don't see any other way. They needed to strap a rocket to Fraxium and get them over with the crowd almost immediately, I personally think. Now on to the Women's North American Championship, which is being held by Sol Ruca. I think Zarya is going to be the one to dethrone Sol Ruca for her Women's North American Championship, because at the minute they're in a tag team, but where Sol Ruca is now winning gold, now a double champ holding the women's speed title as well. I think jealousy and a story of betrayal is going to take place and allow for Zarya to become a singles champion for the first time in WWE. Zelina Vega is the new Women's United States Champion. A reign that I think will be dismantled by Naomi, with this new character of Naomi, and the fact that the Jade Cargill feud seems to be continuing after that, where she loses the Jade Cargill feud. Jade Cargill will go after maybe Tiffany Stratton or another world title, whilst Naomi goes and tries to help elevate the mid-card of SmackDown, as this is something that really needs to happen sooner rather than later. And with a main eventer holding this title, it'll help elevate it to the next level it needs to hit. The Women's Intercontinental title that is being held by Lyra Valkyria. I think this title will go from Irish to Irish, as Becky Lynch will be the next champion, as they are starting up a feud that will culminate at Backlash. I personally think this will be the feud where Lyra Valkyria loses her title to Becky Lynch to, again, as for the same reasons for Naomi, give it that main event push into maybe the mainstream and helping it pick up some high-level champions. The North American Championship that is being held by Ricky Saints. I think Lexis King will be the one to disrupt this reign, as he had the last title shot for the championship where he lost, but this could continue a feud, maybe going into Battleground or even into the next NXT pay-per-view. But personally, I need to see Lexis King hold a belt, because I think he did a really good job with the Heritage Cup and really helped bring eyeballs to it when it was at its lowest point. Now moving on to the Intercontinental Championship that is being held by Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I think Penta will win his first WWE Championship through being Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. He seems to be in a feud with Judgment Day right now, but this could lead to Rey Fenix and him maybe coming back together as a tag team and go for the tag titles. But I do want to see a singles run with Penta where he wins the Intercontinental Championship. The United States Championship that is being held by Jacob Fatu. I think Solo Sikoa will dethrone Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. This could happen some point in the summer, as they seem to be doing a will they won't they feud between these two right now. This could be interesting to see where they were going, because I thought this was going to be a WrestleMania match this year, but they decided to go a different angle and not have Solo Sikoa on the card at all. But this could be a reward for, helping be the main villain of the company throughout the summer of last year. The NXT Women's Champion, which is being held by Stephanie Vaca. I think Jordan Grace will take this title off Stephanie Vaca, as currently she is one of the big signees to NXT which haven't had a title reign, and I do think it is sooner rather than later she'll get hers, because otherwise there's no point of her really being in NXT. She just went straight up to the main roster and put on Raw to feud with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. So I think she will be the next Women's NXT Champion. Moving on to the Women's World Championship that's being held by Io Sky. So far, all that seems to be pointing at is Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky again, which could put Rhea as a 3-time world champion, which would be interesting to see, as she never really got time to shine her second reign, and her first reign was a bit lackluster due to booking that seemed all to be around the Judgment Day and not around Rhea. So I think this reign could be interesting to see, as Rhea could really show what a reign with her would look like if it isn't around a group the entire time. The Women's WWE Championship, which is being held by Tiffany Stratton. I don't really know what else to really say about this, but Bianca Belair is due a title reign at some point soon. Her last one was a very quick 3-4 minute title reign that she had before Io Sky cashed in on her in 2023. It also makes sense to put on this super over babyface / heel right now, because she's getting booed in every place they go. But yeah, it does make sense to put on the super over wrestlers right now, I'm going to be honest. Moving on to the World Champions, Obafemi, the NXT World Champion. I think in the very distant future, Obafemi gets beat by Javon Evans, as this would be a very good match, as Javon's clearly shown he can hang with the very best in the company, and also he's just a very likeable talent to put in an underdog story against Obafemi. So really, this is a big thing that could make sense, and it shows that he is the future of NXT. The World Heavyweight Championship, which is being held by Jey Uso. I want to see Sami Zayn turn heel on Jey Uso, and possibly even beat him for his title some point, maybe SummerSlam or even Survivor Series, depending on the timeline for Jey Uso's title reign. This could be a very interesting feud, as they could also involve Jimmy, Roman, and then even if they can get Paul Heyman out of the Seth Rollins thing by then, which I don't think they will, because I think that's a long-standing story with Bron Breakker and Seth. But back onto Sami. Personally, I think he will be the next World Heavyweight Championship holder. The WWE Undisputed Championship, which is being held by John Cena. I think Cody Rhodes will regain his title by beating John Cena maybe some point towards the end of the year, showing to the end of the retirement tour of John Cena. Maybe Survivor Series could be a good timeline to end the feud, giving him, a month to have one last match as a face. But looking at sort of the timeline of when Cody Rhodes should be back, he should be back, leading into Money in the Bank, and I think he should do a redemption arc like he did for the entirety of 2023 to get back to the championship. And that is who I think will dethrone every WWE champion. I'll do a follow-up in the next month to see if any of these come true, or if any of these could change by next month. This is all inspired by Santi Zappers. He is an incredible YouTuber. This is a very similar concept to what he does. He does pretty much the exact same thing every month with WWE, and I really love it. So I thought, since I'm trying to become a wrestler myself, I should maybe try and do this as well, to try and build my brand a bit on all sorts of platforms. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.